Terror in Afghanistan is never localized. It affects the entire subcontinent, and the first in the line of fire is usually Kashmir. Just think back to the 1990s. Kashmir was the hotbed of extremism. There were targeted killings, border incursions, assassinations. Even a single day of peace was hard to come by. And now there are fears of a repeat. Once again, terror is gripping the Kashmir Valley. First, some numbers. In 2022, there have been 16 targeted killings, 16. The victims include teachers, cops and village chiefs. Last month, the month of May, was the worst. Around 7 targeted killings were reported across the valley. In almost all cases, the victims were Hindus. Today was the latest instance. A bank manager was shot dead in the Kulgam district. His name was Vijay Kumar. He hailed from the state of Rajasthan. CCTV footage from the bank captured the entire attack. Terrorists barged into the office, shot the bank manager and fled the scene. The victim was rushed to a hospital, but it was too late. And this was not some random attack. This was a targeted killing. The bank manager was a Hindu from outside Kashmir, and that is why he was targeted. In fact, this was the second targeted killing of the week. The first was on Monday. A high school teacher, Rajni Bhalla, was shot dead. She too was working in Kulgam. She requested the government for a transfer, but the order came a day before her death. Too late to make a difference. A week before that, there was another attack. Kashmiri TV actress Amreen Bhatt was killed inside her home. Her 10-year-old nephew was injured in the attack. And the list does not end here. On the 12th of May, there was another one. A Kashmiri Pandit, Rahul Bhatt, was shot dead inside his office. Do you notice something common in these attacks? They're brazen. People are being killed in banks, inside their own homes, inside their offices. What does this indicate? That the terrorists are desperate and brazen. They want to strike fear across the valley. Basically put a target on people's back. If you're a Hindu or an outsider or a successful valley resident, there is a target on your back. That is the message these terrorists are sending. The question is, why now? Because Kashmir is moving on. It is putting extremism behind it and moving towards prosperity. The numbers support this. From January to mid-May, more than 700,000 tourists visited Kashmir. 7 lakh tourists in 4.5 months. Compare that to last year. In the same period, there were 125,000 tourists. That's 4 times less. And for Kashmir, tourism is a lifeline. It makes up more than 15% of their GDP. So more tourism, more money. Again, let's look at the numbers. Hotels in Kashmir are almost at full capacity. Room rates are up 60 to 100%. The Srinagar airport is clocking more than 50 flights every day, and chances are it will increase. Because later this month, the Amarnath Yatra is set to begin. The government is expecting around 600,000 pilgrims. Now, all of this is a sign of normalcy. Signs that Kashmir is recovering and moving on. So what do terrorists do? They unleash a wave of violence. And look who they're targeting. Office clerks, bank managers, school teachers, ordinary people who are busy in their everyday life. So the plan is clear. Spread fear across the valley, keep tourism and prosperity away, and drag Kashmir back in time. Who is masterminding this devious plan? The usual suspects. In the first 4 months of this year, 62 terrorists were killed in Kashmir. Out of them, 15 were foreign terrorists. Compare that to 2021. Out of 37 terrorists killed, not a single one was a foreigner. What does that indicate? That terror factories in Pakistan are active again. They're pushing terrorists into the valley. And with the Taliban in Kabul, their job is easier. More launch pads, more training centers. But zero risk, since they're all located in Afghanistan. How must India respond to the spate of killings? With resolve and tact. The most important thing is to not back down. Since 2019, Kashmir has made significant economic and political gains. Those must be protected. At the same time, security must be stepped up. Today, India's Home Minister Amit Shah held talks with National Security Advisor Ajit Doval. Tomorrow, he is expected to meet Kashmir's top official Manoj Sinha. New measures are needed to protect the Hindu community in the valley. One strategy has already been tried. The Kashmiri Pandits were placed in special transit camps. These camps were sealed with full protection. But the people there are still scared. Around 4,000 Pandits are threatening to leave the valley. All of them came to Kashmir as part of the Prime Minister's rehabilitation program. These attacks have scared them. They want to be resettled in Jammu. So safety will be the #1 priority for the government, but that alone will not be enough. Kashmir needs a new economic trajectory because while tourism money is good, it's not reliable. First, the pandemic disrupted tourism. Now these killings could do the same. What Kashmir needs is resilient industries. I'm talking about agriculture, factories. If that happens, Kashmir can find long-term peace, because peace is not just the absence of violence, it is also the presence of prosperity. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.